Hey YouTube, it is your favorite mega church cult survivor, Leah Lauder, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling bougie, babe. Oh my God! Morning, spicy. God, guys, do not be alarmed on YouTube. You see me in a hospital bed, they've got a really good angle. I just want to update everybody on my health because YouTube, I've just remembered that, it's been a while since I've been on. I have had a lot of family issues going on. I found out some things about my ex-husband and his betrayal and dishonesty has just absolutely broken my heart. Not for myself, but for my children. And I had to take some time off to sort that out. Because of the trauma that my ex-husband has inflicted on me, because I was ill, as you know, I was bedridden for 3 weeks. I couldn't get out of my bed. I'm also on live on TikTok. Queen Haynes, welcome. Please like the live on TikTok. Thank you, guys. I've been through hell and back. The YouTube laptop is actually resting on my walker. Since then, I haven't been able to walk properly. I've been having multiple falls around the house. So I've had to move downstairs into my living room, which I'm now making into my studio. And I'm just trying to make the best of, is that my Miss L Rose? Miss L Rose, I've missed you. I love you so much. I love you so much, Miss L Rose. I don't know what it is about this girl, but the connection that we have is crazy. Miss L Rose, do you feel that too? Do you feel? Oh God, girl, I'm so glad I'm back. I love you, sweetheart. I've had so much going on. I had to come offline, and I know you all understand. I had to put my kids first. I had to get myself regulated a bit, guys, because my ex-husband just did me so dirty. I was living in poverty, using food banks. I couldn't walk. He's been traveling all over the world with this 304 allegedly. Do you know what I mean? We only got our divorce finalized in July. We only got our divorce finalized in July last year. So this girl is just absolutely disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to talk about witches and Jezebelic, you're like, this is the spirit that we're dealing with at the moment. So unfortunately, I've had to deal with a Delilah that I've been triangulated, tried to triangulate me into. And I've just found out a lot of things, like the whole marriage was just a lie, basically. And I mean, because I was in the cult and I was severely indoctrinated, and you see that they get a lot of people to marry young, like the young brides and whatnot. So I was just a young bride and I was a victim of that, unfortunately. It's taken me really, really long to clock that this was the ABUSE that I was dealing with, because, it's just my children are involved. I love you more, Queen. I've been thinking about you. I'm so glad to see you, Queen. You look good. Oh, thanks, babe. I've lost a lot of weight though. Guys, I tried to do a sexy video, to Schmegsy Red, but I was just looking too skinny and too pale. So I had to do, my gangster. You want to roll with a bear, but I had to get into gangster mode. But that's all right. That's what I'm saying. I'm a star. I'm a queen. Do you know what I'm saying? When I'm just too skinny and too frail and I just go into Big L. This is Big L. Do you know what I'm saying? Because as I said, I'm home girl. I'm not just a pretty face and some ass. Do you know what I mean? Like, the man them love your girl. Are you mad? All right, let's get into it. So YouTube, I'm happy to be back. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to charge the Instagram phone, but I will be back on Insta. I'm just going to get straight into what I want to talk about. Please, if you've got any questions and you want to ask me anything, then please let me know. I want to talk about why church cults are male-centered. I've been thinking a lot. I'm a fine ass bitch. I ain't in the house that's sexy. Every dad. Bow, 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 bow. That's that booty me. Booty cheese. Yeah. That booty me. You lot disabled, whatever, I'm that. I'm that. I'm that. They did the pause on there. How embarrassing for me. They did the pause. Usually it goes pow, pow, pow. And I just look silly now. Yummy. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm just giving everybody a chance to come on. Oh, Spencer. Listen, Spence, I want to say I have received an email from you. I have been so sick, as you can see. Let me know if you got a response, because I asked my sister to respond to you. Let me know right now. If not, I'm going to get back to you today. Babe, I've had to rearrange my house. Obviously, I can't do it because I can barely walk. I've had to pay someone to come move everything down in my lounge. My daughter's gone into my room. Guys, it's been mad. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's been a madness. But I'm still surviving. I'm still standing. I've been raised by an empress, which is my mother, Deborah Lana. And she's here now. She's cooking up a storm for me, guys. She's cleaning the house. She's helped me do everything. And I'm in a state now, guys, where I am getting support. I'm getting carers. Christ first in the car. I've got rapid response. I've got carers coming in, looking at me. I'm pissing in a commode and human fecal matter in a commode. Yes. I've got a walker. I can't use my stairs. I'm too breathless. So even when I'm trying to walk, but I'm getting the tremors and the shakes because my ex-husband, the stress of all of this has added onto it, because I wasn't getting the support. But because he was down as 50-50 custody, because I gave that to him, because as you know, he was looking after the kids when I was working and I was the main caregiver and provider. So I couldn't just take my kids because he was holding a lot of that energy of caregiver. So that's why I said the 7 days. Okay. So since then, there's been a change. His priorities have been elsewhere. So at the moment, I do have my children full time by myself. Yeah. I mean, I have them by myself because there are some protective parenting issues that I have currently with certain people around my children, and just the inability to just face the truth, really. If people are living in a distorted reality or they're living in Delulu land, that is not for me and my children to take on. You know, my children have an empress as a mother. You know, guys, look, I'm teaching the world and people are benefiting from it. They're changing their lives around. Women are leaving their abusive husbands. Do you know what I mean? The women that are with certain men are having to, you know, sit up and do what they've got to do. I've got women who were at the beginning of this movement. They were overweight. They were with a dusty. They were doing everything, a bottom B, a doormat. Now they're in their divine femininity, losing the weight, looking fabulous. Everybody wants a piece of them. And they're just in there. All of the women in this collective are walking in their power. If it's not about, you know, and it's empowering, because I don't talk about men in a way where we need a man. I empower my kings to love women, to respect women, because I know once my kings have that mindset, their wounded feminine is getting healed. And as a result of that, as they're healing and they're respecting and they're loving the women around them, because we're going into matriarchy, I know that my kings are being divinely aligned with the matriarchal truths that are coming into 2026. So I know just the men that come on and listen, just having that mindset and that heart, they're going to win. All right. Unfortunately, my ex-husband didn't. That's just the difference. I mean, you know, when you're dealing with like an empress and then you've got like a page of cards, do you know what I mean? Like the lowest card in the tarot deck. It's just, you know, you're gonna turn into a page which is just, you know, like inexperienced, bereft of knowledge, self-destruction, like a child, very playful. Yeah, that type of vibe. Let's see what Spencer's saying. I haven't, but please take your time, love, and I'm glad your hair is looking good, by the way. Oh, thanks, babe. I haven't even combed it out. I just thought, you know what? Let me just let it be free. All right, I will get back to you today. I want to get back to you today. And I wanted to give the response to the email I didn't want to just be like, I want to give it the response that it deserves. I want to let you know, on that day that you sent that email, my ex-husband did something which I'm not going to talk about because I've got to be smart. But all I'm going to tell you is what he did that day sent me into an emotional dysregulation. When I saw your email, you literally, that email literally stopped me from going into a crisis, because I think you sent it on the day or the day after my birthday. I'm right, innit? It was either the day of or the day after. And that just helped me to just not collapse. I want you to know that you did that for me. You did that for my girls. You did that for my family. And I hope you can feel the energy, because I'm getting the collective tatted on me. So y'all know it's real. I'm getting the collective here. So when we're on our protest and I'm doing all of the content, as I hold up my hand, everybody's going to see the collective. Okay. So I'm getting it tatted. So y'all know it's real. So let's get into what I want to talk about today. I'm not taking any requests. Why would you want to request to say what? Suck your mother. I know no survivors would be requesting. I'm a fine ass bitch. I ain't in the house that. Yeah, Spence, I'll get back to you, my love. I'm just not the one. I don't know why you lot come on here with your it's like just really washed up 304 vibe. Oh, Miss Alvarez, I'm really happy to see you on. And no one cursed. All right, let's get straight into the topic. Why church cults are male-centered? I've been thinking a lot about my ex-husband, why I married him, why I, gave a Dusty a chance, this, that, and the third. And it's because that the masculinity that they teach in these spaces is actually it's just wounded femininity. It's wounded femininity. And I want to break down why it's wounded guys, let's get the jazz on, let's get the mode right. It's wounded femininity, and the mogs and all of the fake leaders and all of the male leadership are all operating in that realm of the wounded feminine. And that is why there's so much HATE. That's why these spaces are so misogynistic. And when you actually look into the formation of the canon, you'll see that the era that it was in, I mean, women had absolutely no rights. They were seen as lower than cattle. So it's really important when we're looking at Christianity and we're deconstructing these belief systems, that we contextualize it. And we bring factual information into it, because you've got to remember that, and I'm going to dig deeper into this, everything was about faith, but that was just to make you be DUMB, to put all of your autonomy, your agency, your critical thinking, your intuition, all of that, they want you to put that on the back burner so that you turn into this slave, and it's just obedience and submission, yeah? And that's what they do up. If that obsessed 304, if you're on and you're watching, look at me, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm in a hospital bed and still as fabulous as ever. Isn't it strange that you thought you were going to win by doing those things behind my back? But I'm a high priestess, B. And as a result of that, I see it beyond the veil. Sorry, I'm awfully ill. Let me take a sip of my lemon-infused water. I get into people's energy. People have sleepless nights. I return to sender. Once I've got the information and it's known to me, that's it. You don't stand a chance. So I know it must be really difficult at the moment. The full force of God is against you. And the laws of the universe. So right now, you're just on a karmic will for 14 years, you and your family. Everybody at that birthday party that was aware. And there's absolutely no way to break it. I wish you the best of luck. Okay. Let's look at the psychology, the neuroscience, the theology, and the cult dynamics. Patriarchal origins of organized religion. I'm back, guys. I'm back like I never left. I'm back and better than ever. I am, hey Featherstones, I love you. Kiko, hey girl. I might be like disabled and not be able to like use my legs as much and whatever, but I'm going to do it fabulously, because that's just who I am. Do you understand? And I'm not going to let anything hold me down. And I want to say that I know definitely over half, or if not, if we include mental disability into this, like mental impairment, I want to say that almost 90% of the collective are going to be classed as disabled, whether they're diagnosed or undiagnosed. So for me, I'm just really trying to like emancipate us, empower us, show that this disabled thing is nothing to be ashamed of. Let's just be our true authentic self and let's be free. Okay. So most major religious systems were formed in ancient patriarchal societies where men controlled land, wealth, and inheritance. So we're contextualizing this now, Christianity. Bloodlines were traced through men. So hence why women have the last name. That's a very archaic social construct where it's like, the women didn't have any rights. So they take on the man's name and like that's their ownership. So what I've said to you is there's a lot of like magic with a K. I believe that marriage is binding magic. So what I'm going to say to survivors is, if you do have someone, guys, I think it's better to do like a ceremony of love, something where you're, because the relationship will last longer because there's no binding magic on it. Yeah. Anyway, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, brother. It's up to you lot, chair. Women were primarily valued for fertility and household labor. And when you look at the Bible, that really does mirror the stereotypical patriarchal misogynistic perspectives of women of that time, like that biblical era, BC and AC. Okay. And you see the fertility. Women were primarily valued for fertility. So we see that narrative, that social construct being fed through Genesis, through the beginning of the formation of, like women, how men fell. It was because of Eve. She ate the forbidden fruit. So we have to recompense ourselves through reproduction, through fertility, because that's how we recompense ourselves, through having babies. Yay. A man definitely didn't write this, did he, ladies? And gentlemen, because some of the gentlemen are so woke that they can see that this is, they're honest, that they're in tune, so they can say, yeah, queen, yeah, empress. And I'm going to go deeper into this. Religion didn't emerge in a vacuum. It reflected the social structure of the time. It reflects the inequality, the DUMB, chauvinistic, patriarchal, misogynistic men that sat around a round table in Nicaea. And then Constantine. Do you know that Constantine, who they credit for like bringing Christianity mainstream and whatever, he got baptized on his unalivement bed, because they believed that when you got baptized, you had to live like a clean life and whatever. Can you imagine? It's all corrupt. They've just done it to like this particular thing that we're talking about, because I've got to be careful. Hey, alpha male. It's just a load of misogynists, you know what I mean, and schmegs addicts that just want to rule women. That's all I know. It's warped. It's not a true reflection of God. And that's why I say, when you come out of these spaces, don't just church cult hop, man. Oh, morning king. Don't just church cult hop. Give yourself time to like heal, to like process the trauma, because then you're just going to be church cult hop in jail. In these societies, leadership was male, warfare was male dominated. But remember, was it male dominated though? Because we've got people like Deborah, we've got people like JL, we've got there's like Joan of Arc. There are women, but remember, they burnt a lot of the temples, and a lot of the goddesses were real warriors, to the point where people were looking at the goddess of this, the goddess of that, to answer and sort out situations and whatnot. And luckily for us, fortunately, they can't burn the knowledge now. They have no way to burn the knowledge, because we have the internet, the advancement of the internet, information technology. And that's why I believe they demonize it. There's that demonization, because if you look clearly, there's that same like information control and demonization with technology. Clock it. Because for me, I've had a very, very positive experience with technology. Technology, don't forget, is the algorithm that connects all of us. This is how this has been made possible. Remember, we need to bring in astrology into this, the map of the stars, okay? When we trace it back to Egypt, when we trace it back to the civilizations that they've tried to erase, that is really where we draw our wisdom from, okay? And remember that the technology is aligned with Ether, it's aligned with the universe, okay? When you look at things like Apocrypha, there are accounts of certain fallen angels giving us information technology, but again, I would argue with any holy book that the author and the lens in which they were perceiving or processing, certain events would also be skewed. So like how you would go to university and you would consult different literature and you would look at different contexts and different things that were happening around the time to compare, etc. That's how you get higher marks. That's the difference between a third class and a first class. Do you see what I mean? So I hope this is clear. Astrology is not evil, guys. Like, get into it, because we're in the age of Aquarius right now, and there's a lot of truths that are aligning. It was not male dominated. It was male dominated. Yeah. Dennis, did your pastor get time? And we are gonna talk, my love, but I just need to get my book. Yes, this is an announcement. My book is going to be released on the 20th. Oh my God, I just nearly said the date. Oh, it's kind of out the bag now. Well, it's not really, on a certain month. So you'll be able to pre-order very soon, guys. You'll be able to pre-order very soon. But no matter what happens, the date that I've got on in my mind, it's definitely going to be released at that time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Regardless of how the book is, I want all the survivors to know that this isn't going to be like, I'm going to get it as perfect as I can. You know what I'm like, but even if I gave it my best and I felt that it was perfection, it would never be enough. That's the thing up from the cult. I haven't managed to deconstruct it. I think it's part of my purpose. So, hey, blissfully tate. So however the book is, I'm going to be releasing it. What I wanted to ask you survivors is I was going to have a section at the end, before the very end of the book, and I was just going to put as many of my live scripts and just have it as live scripts of all as many of the lives that I've done. So, but it will just be like my notes. It will be, love you so much. Oh, thank you. It's Skira Bish. Thank you so much for the gifts, and to Tender, thank you so much. So if you guys want me to include the live notes, can you let me know, please, in the chat now? If you want me to include the live notes, just put yes, and then I'll know. If I get enough yeses, then I'll include it. And it will just be like when I come on today. Some of them have been turned into chapters, but the reason why I thought it might be quite good is for people who are not very academic. My notes are just like bullet points, so you can just read clearly. It's not as much information. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to put it in because Miss L Rose said yes, and I have to give her what she wants. All right, babe. Because if Miss and Haynes, oh God, it's a shutdown. I don't need any more yeses, guys. Don't worry at all. Because if Haynes says it, and Miss L Rose, I mean, that's it. But I'd put it in there just for you two, Chair. Guys, I'm so excited for you guys to see the book. Like, I'm so excited. And with the pre-order, what I think I'm going to do is put like I'm going to try and see if I can put like a little snippet in there. Like a we can get a preview. That's what I want to do up. I want to do up a preview. Guys, I'm so excited because so much of this book, oh, thank you to Tenda, I appreciate you, baby. All of this book, but there's a main part in it where I go beyond the vow. And guys, I've lived out this book. This isn't just any ordinary, I've really lived it out. And I believe that these are like downloads from just, I don't know, like God, the universe. Guys, I don't know, my higher self, Minano. But it's definitely higher spiritual knowledge. It's not me. Because there's no way I could look at a candle and then get a whole like metaphysical, ideological perspective. It's higher than me. Leah, I have to do you a scrapbook about my cult. Please. Dennis, do you know what I think we need to do? I think you need to do that scrapbook, and I think we need to actually meet. I think we need to sit down and meet, and I think I need to come out like with my iPad and sit down and like take these notes. I think I need to also record you, like your testimony, because I just got a feeling once I put this out, I just feel like I'm going to get loads of survivors from this climate guy. Yeah. But another survivor, but I don't know if it's your pastor, told me that their pastor got charged, is in jail now. Guys, there's so much going on, I can't even keep up, Chair. It's absolutely crazy. TikTok, thanks for liking the live. All right, so we've got that settled. So I just want you guys to know that the book is coming out on schedule. It is coming out in March, 100%. You'll be able to pre-order soon, within weeks. Is it exciting, guys? Within weeks. Oh my God, I'm so excited because there's so many surprises in there. I don't even, thinking about it. Oh, hey, Mon, thinking about it makes me want to cry. Because I'm bearing my whole heart and soul. And I'm hoping that in bearing my whole heart and soul that it can resonate with people and validate people and help to set them free. Already, I will meet up. I'll do you 2 scrapbooks. Okay, that would be absolutely amazing. But Dennis, we're still going to have the call. But I want to put in some time where we can meet. And for the survivors that anyway, I'm going to say this offline. I'm not going to say too much online because I just don't want people in our business, especially like the inner collective who are like on my WhatsApp, people that I have a connection with, people that I talk to. There is going to be a way that I am going to connect with you guys moving forward. So people like Miss L Rose, guys, please do reach out to me and message me and get my number, because the way I'm going to have to work is going to have to be different in 2026, okay? And I know how I want to work with you survivors now. I know how I want to work with y'all. Especially on a one-to-one basis. This 2026, I want to do like more one-to-one. There's a lot of guys, I swear to God, yeah. This year is just going to be amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing for us as survivors. I've got such a good feeling. Look, guys. This is a butterfly candle that I bought from a charity shop and the wick fell out. There's no way I can get the wick back in. Anyway, it's a beautiful candle. And this is what I put. I have like a little altar next to me. Because I'm not hiding who I am or what I am anymore. Or if people think it's EVIL or whatever, then that's up to you. But I've done enough research. I'm educated enough. I'm spiritual enough. You know, altars are all over. It's all over in the Bible. It's just that they've packaged it into religion. And I'm actually going to do a whole live later on the altar and what it means and how the altar used to be, you know, the earth, the forest, the outside, and what it means and what it's representative of, because it's not witchcraft and it's not evil. And it's not what they're doing in the religious sector. That's witchcraft. That's witchcraft. That's why they changed it to make it upside down, make the evil good and the good evil. That's what they've done. And when you realize that we're in a matrix, that's a religious matrix. So once you clock that, then now everybody's clocking that the world. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a dead arm. It's part of my disability. This whole part of my body now is all like lead. You can see it on live, yeah? Can you guys see my arm? Look. Can't even lift it. Guys, I swear to God, yeah? You see what I've been put through? There's not many people. And that's why I'm saying I'm not going to sit here and act fake and be like, oh, I forgive them. I forgive, because like, I don't. I need to forgive myself first. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like forgive myself. Climate has an extramarital affair with a YT woman, Claire, a Canadian. Do you know when Dennis speaks, I'm just like, oh my God, when I start exposing this guy, a lot of survivors are going to come forward because you weren't the only one. Remember, Dennis, the whole reason how I found out about your cult was some random girl came to tell me that she saw an article on your pastor and he was trying to move to her on Snap and sending her bananas out of the fruit bowl pictures and trying to get her. Yeah. So that's how bad. Because most of these mogs and these guys in these leadership positions in religion, a lot of them are schmegs addicts. They hide in plain sight. It's no different to like Hollywood and what P. Diddy's been getting up to. And except these guys like different things. I nearly said something just then and I said, oh, Leah, you've got to be careful because, you know, people have trusted me with their private menage a trois. Paid services of such. Schmegschul arrangements behind closed doors. So I don't really want to say too much because then they might clock which 304s snitched. These pastors. They're such naughty boys. That's why I have to come in, mother. I've got to get everything aligned and say, no, you cannot do this. You cannot take advantage of our queens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to educate. Hey, Bantu Wellness, I'm going to educate our queens and we're going to educate each other. I don't want anyone to think at a moment that I see myself as like this educator, this leader that has come to share her extensive knowledge. Hell to the F, no. I learned so much from survivors. There's a survivor that's an anonymous, and I think she's going to reveal herself at some point this year. I learned so much from this girl. She's so young and so wise, like wise beyond her years. And oh God, we just have such stimulating intellectual conversations. It's amazing. In it, just preach, let it reach the right soul. Yeah, preach is a little bit triggering, but I did say preach yesterday by accident. But yeah, like share knowledge, isn't it? Like, hey Jay, share knowledge. Guys, do you know what? I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed. Like, hey King, even when I think about like, because you lot can't really see my hospital bed, can you? Look, you know, I'm on my hospital bed, grah. Like people can't really see all of the things that I've been going through. Guys, when I was ill, yeah, to just even lie to just even lie on the pillow was excruciating. It was too hard for my skin, so I've had to like order new pillows, and because like I'm disabled, I can't like cook all the time, I can't do things. Like my life is so much more expensive because I have to order like takeaway, and I can't afford it. So I've been like, because I had my kids like 7 days a week, I would like not eat properly so that I could like offer my kids, like have all the fridge and the cupboards full, and my kids could be spoiled, because I used to work in a high-end job like for the mayor, and my kids are accustomed to a certain type of life. So I didn't, and with the divorce and everything, I didn't want them to like suffer. Like, so this has also made me like really unwell. And then I was trying to reach out to my ex-husband to help me, but he was more interested in being with a washed up divorcee of 3 children, 304, and jet setting all over the world. Just, I can liken him to the prodigal son that was eating with pigs. Because he's just like squandered all the money, and if you put any investments into anything else, he's not going to see a return on it. So it's just sad. The lesson that needs to be learned here is, when you're selfish and you don't like care for your kids, and you try to be snaky, sly snake slithering in the grass. Then I'll just call on what's that goddess with the snakes in her hair? Well, they said it was snakes, but it's actually supposed to be locks. When you look into the African cosmology, Medusa, thank you, Nay. Medusa, thank you, lovely Lou. Yeah, Medusa is supposed to have had locks. Thank you, Haynes. I would just get Medusa. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when you look into the goddesses, I mean, they're so much more powerful than any male hero or anything. Even when you look into like Greek mythology and stuff. So when they want to come for me, I'm just like, whatever, babe. Because all of you lot believe that, like, if I was to say mother goddess, how do you feel? And this is what I'm going to get into. How do you feel if I'm to say to you mother goddess? Because what I've realized is, coming out of this church cult and just Christianity as a religion in a whole, it's like women are so demonized. It's like a sin to think that there's a female element of God, when everything in nature, the universe, whatever, it shows that there's a feminine and masculine divine balance. When you look at the sun and the moon, the sun is the masculine. There's Ra, isn't there, in certain, is it Egyptology? Because this is all very new to me, guys. So please do your research. I'm no expert, but we've got the sun as the masculine energy, we've got the moon as the feminine energy, and then when you look at our cycle, which is because we are one with the universe. Thank you, Haynes. I love you. When we look at our periods and our cycles, like even my daughter came on, then I came on like 2 days after her, and then the moon, I was looking at the cycle of the moon. It's just amazing, like how it all aligns. And I think the reason why our periods and on the moon and everything is aligning is because of the connection that I have with my daughter. I feel her. I am one with my children. That's why when washed up 304s who can't even look after their own kids, exposing their own kids to men that I won't even let mine see my kids. It's like, what could you possibly come and teach my kids? They have been demonized, and we as women have been demonized too. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there was a post that I saw where she said like the conventional like beauty standards are like that of a child. So it's like PDF and popcorn graphy. Do you know what I mean? Like they want the standards of a female to be like a child. And that's why when you look at like these, there's that OnlyFans model. She's really curvy, but her face looks like she's about 12. That's the only reason why my girl's making $1 million a day and all that. She makes money. Like my girl's making dough because she has a child face. I swear to God, there's some mad spirit on this planet. And I just think that as women, we really do need to protect ourselves. The last thing you need to be thinking about is a relationship. Think about your childhood. Think about your father that scarred you for life. That's what you need to think about. That's what you need to concentrate on, because if you don't get healed from that, you're just going to marry someone worse than your father, and then your kids are going to suffer. And then that's how there's no curses. Just get that out of your mind. Just get it out of your mind. Do not let that world have power over you. They are cycles. Educate yourself. Go and look up like trauma, and because it's so much easier to say, oh, I'm cursed. Then, I spent all the time in the church cult. I let my husband F out on me. I let my husband put hands on me. My kids saw that growing up. He's got children all over the world. That's why my children are messed up in the head. But because they didn't want to believe in that, you don't want to believe that your kids have neurodivergence because you think that's a demon and that's a sin, that's whatever from God. So you're going to pray and work against the education system. So now when you unalive because you're old, what's going to happen to your child? You haven't got them set up to live independently, to get that support from the services. So when you go, what's your child going to do? So do you see how these women are failing their children? Enablers, especially aunties. And then their sons become a failure too. And it's just this reoccurring pattern and cycle of just failureness. Clock it, Spence. Ladies, please focus on healing from your childhood trauma and walking in your divinity. Please, could you not worry about like men? Because it's going to put you back like 10 years. And then you're going to see what I'm saying is true and have to start again. Look, I'm not trying to like say don't get a man. I want you to have a man, but I want you to be in control of that man. I don't want the man to be in control of you. Okay? And that's why I'm telling you to walk in your power. Because once you walk in your power and then you understand what men are like, you can have a relationship that suits you. Because if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, you want him to worship you. You don't want him to marry you. You want him to worship you. Okay? Because men are not designed to have like one mate and be with one woman and whatever. So you've got to be like, you've got to know male psychology. So that naturally he just, you just tire him out. He doesn't even have the time to sleep with other women. There was one guy I was dealing with. And when he was in Nigeria, his friends, because they're just, how these guys are. They like got him this like American, they were like American baddies. Guys, listen to this. His brethren was not getting married. He was renewing like 10 years with the wife, or it might have been 10 or 20 years with the wife. And when I tell you, it was like something you see out of Hollywood. Like this girl had on a dress, it looked like it was 10 grand. Everything was just money. The whole thing was just money. Just, you know how they are. Because they're filthy, stinking rich. So they're in the hotel now. And because basically it's just, because I like more like home girl, like knowing what they're doing. Like, because men, I just like honesty. I don't like lies. So anyway, he told me that because of the way that I patterned it and the psychology and the way I was making him like worship me and bring him into my reality, it was like, and also you've got to be doing what you're doing behind the scenes as well. But ladies, if you want tips, I'm going to do closed Discord things around this, because I don't want it to be public knowledge, and also it's going to be for women that want to get into this realm. Okay. And I'll be doing more of that towards the mid-year. But let's just say that the schmegs we're going into realms. We're going into like Kama Sutra, and it was just really out of this world. So there's got to be that part of it as well, because schmegs is about 90% of it. It heals the body, the soul, it connects you. That's the lie. They make it out like, oh, schmegs is just because the world's made it out like. But if you study the spiritual context of it and how you align and bond, and you can also get that bond like through like positive affirmation, but in the head. So you can say in your mind, you want this to be the best schmegs ever. You can speak things in your mind as you're doing it, and so you're manifesting it in that time. Yeah, there's loads of things. There's loads of things, Chair. There's loads of things. But my point is, when the woman came now and was doing up the brain, do you not understand that? He was like, oh no, settle, stop. Chair. He couldn't even have someone else doing that up for him. Wasn't the right like texture, like frequency. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a difference, like when you're loving on a man, when you're, like making him feel like, I don't even know. I've got to be careful but do you know what I mean? There's just a difference. So it's like, you got to be in that divine feminine, because like that vibe, because once you're in that vibe, it doesn't matter what any other woman does. It's just not going to top it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to top it. And ladies, pick your target well. Don't be picking no man that you have to chase, Chair. He should be chasing you. Oh, look, Jay's clapping. Thank you, King. Like, pick your... And I don't want to say, like, target, because the thing is, when we speak like this, we're willing to invest in a man, us divine feminines. We are, like, the most loyal women. That's why we don't just get with anyone, be opening up the legs to anyone, da-da-da. So when we talk like this, Kings, just appreciate it and love it. And go for a spiritual girly, because this season that we're in, the males that are with, like, these spiritual girlies, they're going to start doing really well. Anyway, that's just a little BTW. Maybe somebody needed to hear that, including myself. All right. So let's get back into it, guys. I'm loving this topic. And I've lost where we're at. Just give me a second. We're kind of exploring like patriarchy within religion and these church cults and going into all different things in between. So we've been looking at the psychological impact. All right, guys, bear with me. I've got to get this right. Okay, all right. So high control groups often recreate ancient patriarchal structures, use them as divine order. Claim modern equality is rebellion against God. So that's why they're perpetuating all of this modesty rhetoric and, you know, women looking cheap and whatever it is that they're doing up, because they're trying to use it as divine order and see like worldliness, modern equality, so women having rights, being able to dress how they want and, you know, choose not to have a husband or choose to, you know, get a donor and not have a man around, which I think is the best thing. Which I think is the best thing for the women that are not married. If you want children, I would either say do up a lavender thing, go for a GAY guy who really, really wants a child, who's in a serious relationship, who'll be able to look up. This might be too radical for some people. Take it as you want, but share. If I could have done it all over again, I'd choose one of these options. Lavender, marriage, because they want a child so, real bad. And they'll pay for all your medical care. They'll treat you good, baby. Go for a wealthy GAY couple, because then you're sorted for life. You won't even need to work again. And then the second option is just the sperm donor, but these are for my bosses. Because usually boss girls, you're not usually good in relationships, but you're very good mothers, very good nurturers, empresses. So just get a sperm donor, or you can groom one of your guy friends. You can groom one of your guy friends. All right, get a BFF and guys, do you know what, ladies, this is for my divine feminine. The man that I'm talking about is a man that's been obsessed with you. So I have a guy like this. Even if I called him tomorrow, he'd be round here wanting to have my baby, me to have his baby, even now in the hospital bed. Yeah, he's been obsessed since childhood. Like, I'm talking about primary school days. Like, I used to see him playing football in the park, playing basketball and that. Oh God, that guy's in love with me. He's never even had a child, and I know all I have to do is some work on him. Just because his chakras are all over the place. He's all stiff. All I have to do is just untangle all of that and I'll get pregnant quickly. Divine feminine. So get a guy who's absolutely obsessed, so he'll know his role. Because it's just an honor. It's just an honor for you to even say yes for the baby. So, oh my God, he's gonna provide, he's gonna be there, he's gonna take the crumbs, he's gonna take whatever he can get, ladies. And happily. So that's for my divine feminine. So you're welcome. But ladies, if you want to have a baby, like he's got to be good. He's got to be like a good friend. He's got to be someone you've known for years. Look at my Ines. Isn't the idea to have a man stiff? I don't understand what you mean, because I was in a cult for 18 years, so I'm quite naive. I don't understand what you mean. Thanks, Innie. Like it's a bit, and I'm neurodivergent as well. So are you talking about the banana? Because I just thought it takes me a little while to get things. I just thought, oh, is that what they're talking about? All right, guys, it's a bit bright in here. I'm going to put on my glasses. He is. Oh, okay. Well, no, because we're not interested in your satisfaction. We're interested in getting what we want. And that is the baby, and that is the money, and that is you providing and worshipping us and doing what we say because we've given you a child. If a man hasn't got that mindset, ladies, where he's going to get you, like, you know, the pushing out gift, and because you unalive and come back to life, it's painful. Some people are in labor for 3 hours. Your early contractions, if you imagine your worst period pain that you ever have, that's the beginning. That's the start of the contractions. Love you, Queen. That's the beginning of the contraction. So you go through a lot. You've got to get something for it, chair. Even if you're a baddie like Innes and you never work for the rest of your life, that's a good deal. I'd rather that than the push out present. I won't lie. But the guy just has to worship you and adore you like Innes. Innes, can you give us some tips, please? I'm just telling the ladies what they have to do for the man to worship them. And I mean, period. And I mean, you are already achieving it. I had to learn the hard way, but Innes, you've had a straight line and circle of just goodness. So we've got people in the collective, because especially I talk a lot about marriages and stuff, and we've lost a few people along the way. in the collective. But that's why I'm really grateful to have rare gems like Ines, who embodies what I talk about: the baddie, the empress, the partner worshipping, the beautiful. And you lot have got such a. So I mean, oh bitch, if I was your husband, I'd be worshipping you there. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what I mean? Are you all right? Oh my God, I saw this girl in her, what was it, the traditional, the Latina thing she had on the other day. Lord God, I said, girl, you have to get that framed. I told her, I said, you've got to get that framed, chair. And you should have seen the hubby looking, oh God. I swear down. You lot, you like, when you grow up, you want to be like Ines. That's all I'm going to say, chair. All right. So this gives male leaders absolute spiritual authority. Sorry, guys. Bella, shh. Scriptures used to control. Let's look at some scriptures because this is also very important. I love you, Inni. Genesis 3:16, your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you. Does this I'm sorry. 2026, baby. We're going to take this again. Your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you. Guys, I want to let you know as well, if I can, I don't know if I'm going to get it done for March, but shortly after, I'm going to put out a bonus book for women. This is going to be all about empowerment, like with these verses. I'm also going to be talking about like how you heal, stuff like that. There's going to also be a little bit in there for like, it's going to be like a survival 101. So for the women that still want to be out there dating, getting their backs blown out, etc., I'm going to give you tips to protect yourself. They're not, you're still going to have to heal from the trauma, but it's just tips that I'm going to give you so that you don't get used and abused as much as you would have been if you didn't have this knowledge. Because you won't get used and abused regardless, because you in trauma, you in crisis, you probably ain't got your mental health. It's probably undiagnosed. You got CPTSD, or you got PTSD, you struggling, you in the trenches, and you don't know that. So you gotta be attracted to a lot of narcissists, a lot of psychopaths. So if somebody says that they come out from a divorce or they come out your church coat and they don't get abused by men, they gonna be a lie, and the truth ain't gonna be hitting them there. That's perfect. Some women lately truly need it. Yeah, and you can help me with that as well. Because we could maybe put in a bit for like, like how they can make their marriages saucy, because they never do that. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So we could get together and work on that, girl. That would be good. Do you know what I mean? Because then we've got like my knowledge of this is what happens but we need to have like, I think, some positivity in it for people who are in the marriages. Okay, she said she's down. For people who are in the marriages, like survivors, because I can't help them, unfortunately. And guys, this is the power of the collective. Because I'm very reflective, I can say, because I'm self-aware, I can say I can't give that lens because I'm still healing. That if I start to, I just can't give it. But Ines can, because she's been, how long have you been together? Has it been over 10 years? Like, she's been happily married for years and years and years and years. So she can come in and give tips and help other marriages, because there are survivors that have come out and still want to work on their marriage and are trying to survive. So Inni, you can help me with that. And she said she's down. And we're like sisters. So like Ines is just on the other phone. Do you know what I mean? I'll just get her bullet points and put it into the book chair. Do you know what I'm saying? And Ines schmegshal stuff as well, because some of them, they need help. We need to spice up their love life. Do you know what I mean? Color of the world, spice up your life. Every boy and every girl, spice up your life. People of the world, spice up your life. Shake it to the left if you're having a good time. Shake it to the right if you know that you feel fine. Shake it to the left, move around. Shake it to the left if you're having a good time. Shake it to the right and you know that you feel fine. Shake it to the left, see ya, hold tight. La 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 la. They need to spice up their life. Gosh, it must be HELL for the kings as well. And I feel sorry for my fellas, who are like in these marriages and it's just the wives are doing nothing. But I'm not gonna lie, the women that have been listening to my content and stuff, they have been like, yeah, they've been getting with it. Some of the women have left the husbands and they are just schmegsy now. Oh my God. There's one survivor in particular. Whew. If I swung the other way, I'd make her my wife. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gal them are lucky I don't swing the other way, because I wouldn't be giving women a choice. Are you all right? Oh my God. I'd be that bee in that world. Like no one saying no to me. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if you're straight with it, because I just think I'm like it, innit? So I wouldn't care. you know what I mean? Like, I'll just be like, everybody loves me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you gonna try it. You try it for a night. See if you like it. Oh my God, I'm so naughty, you know, honestly. Trouble. That's what they used to call me, trouble. All right, you lot, let's get into it. I've completely disassociated. But how deep is this, though? That when it comes to us saying mother goddess or mother god is seen as a sin. Crazy. And then we've got 1 Corinthians 14, 34 to 35. Women should remain silent in the churches. Now, I know a lot of them are going to argue, Paul was talking to the church of Corinthia to a certain... It's just like, whatever, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just a patriarch. It's just patriarchal. Misogynistic. Like, we can all see it for what it is, guys. It's 2026. I mean, if you, like, your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you, of course the men are going to love it. Of course the men are going to get it. Of course the men are going to... That's why even when men come out of religion, they still like hold on to it. Like, my ex-husband was using scriptures and everything to ABUSE me on the net, online. Do you get what I'm saying? Just like the porsters. So guys, it's just EVIL. Do you know what I mean? I just see so much EVIL. I just see so much EVIL with this whole setup that I'm afraid and scared. Do you know what I'm saying? I just can't trust no one. Like, they just wear masks. Like, they're so fake. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you'll spend more time in these settings trying to sift the wheat from the turps. Like, see who's real to who's not real. Like, it takes up a lot of energy to protect your business. When people have beloveds, if it's all secretive, hush hush, and that's how the men are able to carry on being preds and abusers in there, because everything's all under the rug, it's all under the carpet. That he's sleeping with the girl he's with, then he's sleeping with other girls in the church cult, and it's just the MESS. Yeah. So the historical context behind this scripture, because they often quote this scripture without context to justify male dominance. Genesis describes the consequences of the fall, not God's ideal design. It is descriptive, not prescriptive. Obvious, and when you go into the Gnostic text, you learn about what was her name? Was it Lilith? Lilith, which was supposed to be the first wife of Adam. These are like the forbidden texts, but no one can really authenticate the text. It's all human fecal matter. You just got to believe in what you got to believe in. And what I believe in is the voices that were silenced. Because I'm like, one sec, guys. I'm like, why were those voices silenced? Why were those voices silenced? Why were those texts hidden? So I'm more interested in like the hidden text and what that means. So Paul's letters address specific cultural issues in certain churches, not universal commands for all of time. So this is another danger, that they like, it's so archaic, it's so barbaric, like a lot of the stuff, and then they cherry pick, they pick and choose what we should obey and do and what we shouldn't. And when you look at the things that they've kept that are very archaic, like tithing, it's for the mog's greed, for his benefit, and it has no bearing to now. Okay. Scriptures that challenge this: Galatians 3:28. There is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Neither male nor female. So where they have, like, when you look at like these very stereotypical views and how they preach, and you guys, if you just like focus on the words of Christ in isolation, just try and get a book if you're trying to do up believing in Christ after. I don't use Jesus anymore unless I'm talking about it from a religious perspective. Try and just get something with just Christ's words in it, because when we've been in these settings, we haven't really had a lot of like Christ's teachings, because like it can take you 10 years to just understand like two lines of what Christ is saying. Majority of it is about your healing work, your journey and your path to healing, openness, self-discovery, self-reflection. All of that is what opens you up to Christ consciousness. You can't do it the other way around. It's not about rituals, like you get up and do a born again prayer, and that's why that's a cult. It's like these church cults are more like covens. The majority of them are women. There's warlocks. And then it's like the men that's like how covens operate. The warlocks in those front-facing positions. So they're no different from covens. And, you know, like hopefully in this year and that, guys, I can get some witches to come on and speak to us, because what I think I'm going to start doing is, because I am on the witch talk side of things, because I think witches are so wise, and I've just learned so much from witch talk. And so when I see like a witch that I feel like I really resonate with their vibe, that doesn't have so many followers, because they have loads of followers, then I'll message them to see if they could come on and speak to us about like the coven. And do you know who I would love? That woman that survived, you know, the pastor's kid. Oh my God, when I get a bit more established, you know, the one that I post there like on and off, and I repost her a lot. I think she's called Madeline something, and she's got the blonde long hair. That woman is so friggin' wise. I've learnt so much from her, because she's an ex-pastor's kid. I don't know what I think she's more into like the esoteric knowledge and the Mary Magdalene knowledge. And I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I love Mary Magdalene so much and the Gnostic texts and that is because I feel like it gives the women who are like this, I'm going to call us sacred feminines, like the sacred feminines, like, because I consider myself as a sacred feminine. And when I first came into the church cult, I just wanted to be a nun, like dedicate myself to just God, because my boyfriend had unalived and I didn't want a man again. And I've always kind of had this in my soul. So now that I've made that decision, now that I'm out of religion, I kind of want to like open a space for women that might perhaps choose not to have a man, remain celibate for the rest of their life, and want to be like more into like their sacred feminine, their high priestess, their spirituality more so. So that's just like a life that is full of love in self. Some of the women may have children, so I want to have like these groups where we come together as empresses, and we nurture our children, we pour into our children, we water into our children, we do like spiritual activities. So it might be painting shells, doing art, about the children's feelings, like various different things like that. Like I really hope to really nurture the women that want to be, you know, the sacred feminine. And there are women that might have partners, but that still resonates with them, and they still have that element of sacredness within their union, because they're in like a divine union. But you have to be in a divine union with a man, because we don't want all of that baggage. We're not trying to deal with that male energy. Thank you, Inni. So someone like you could join, because your husband is not an abusive misogynist. Do you know what I mean? Because we can't be dealing with women that are going through abuse, and this group is a safe space for our children to heal from that. Yeah. Hey, lay your roof. True. It's like my old cult full of witches, and the Mog climber a warlock. Yeah. Yeah. Majority of the men are just warlocks, my love, and they siphon the women's energy. That's why they always have a lot of women around them. Okay. Women are very powerful. We are the portals to this earth, etc. So it's very important to understand why civilizations were unalived. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the knowledge that they tried to delete and burn. Why did they do that? What was the reason? And this is why you're seeing the rise of the divine feminine. Women like myself, guys, we can disagree to agree. We can have different beliefs and whatever, but the church ain't helping you. That's the truth, and you know it. That's why most of the people who are a bit unsure, like they're still church cult hopping in religion, they listen to me from the FYP. Not wanting to come in, they come in and out as they want, and that's also fine. But just, you have to admit that I help you more, and the content that I put out there helps you more than the church. So now people are in cognitive dissonance, and they're starting to think, oh my God, all the things that they said are evil. When I look at Leah, some of those things signify what they taught you was evil. And now you're having to look at that, because you know I'm genuine. You can feel it. You can feel it. Same as Christ. They demonized him, they this, they that, but the people could feel it. They could feel the love, they could feel the genuineness, they could feel, and that's just what it is. And so I'm not afraid to be my full self, guys, because I think there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that help me to stay sane. Like even, you know, if you guys see in the YouTube at the back and TikTok, I do a lot of candle work, and I'm going to come on a live, and I'm like, soon you're going to see me up there, guys. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be doing this candle work live. I'm going to be explaining to you, because I've gone within and I've had to search so deep within, because there's been times when I've just felt like that's it, I can't do it anymore. And because I've been so tapped in through meditation, stillness, etc., I've tapped into like, you know, like I don't know whether it's past lives or, you know, like just if we look at epigenetics, ancestors that have come before us, and then that is imprinted in our DNA. Sorry, YouTube and TikTok, one moment. That is imprinted in our DNA. So those old practices kind of live within that, like that soul realm, if you like. So there's a special name for this type of candle artistry, and it just keeps my mind like really sane, as well as like these little things that I collect that help me to stay really focused. And if you've got like you're neurodivergent, it's very good to have an altar and use like imagery, pictures. It really helps to like regulate your nervous system as well. And I'm going to be, now that I'm in here, I'm going to be bringing you guys into like my inner sanctuary, if you like, because I just feel like I just want to show that side of myself now to the world. And I don't know where it's going to take us, collective. We're just on this journey. And again, throughout, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I'm still going to keep this very universal just because I want everybody to benefit from it. And that's the rule for diversity, for empathy, for this, that, and the third. So I will be keeping it very universal and in a way that everybody can process and receive. But for my girlies who are just more into divinity and, you know, like esoteric stuff and all of that, it will be life-changing. All right. So let's look at, and then there's another scripture that challenges this. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. This shows spiritual equality and shared authority. The theology of female guilt and control. Many cult-like churches emphasize the idea that Eve caused the fall. Women are more easily deceived. Women must submit to men. This creates a structural spiritual hierarchy. Sorry, guys, I've just got to move this back a little bit. Is it shocking to see me in the bed, guys? But I do need to tell you guys that, like, please don't feel sorry for me, guys, because I need this. Guys, I really, really need this. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I've been so uncomfortable. I haven't been getting rest. And that just doesn't help with my sickness. Like, I really do need the hospital bed, guys. So please just like be happy for me, because not everybody gets this. I'm really lucky. All right, psychological impact. This produces internalized shame, fear of independence, and it actually strips women of all their agency, autonomy, independence, because we become like, you know, like we haven't got our brain because the husband's just there controlling everything. Dependence on male approval, suppressed identity. Women begin to believe I am spiritually dangerous unless controlled. I need a head. I need a covering. Even when I used to preach, I used to wear hats because we had to do that in my cult to show that there's a male authority and a male covering over us. Sad, isn't it? Guys, I'm getting tired. I might have to come back. This is the effects of living with Addison's and chronic kidney disease. I just want to say, Dag, I'm coming for you. And any interview that I do in the future from here on, it's going to be in my hospital bed. So, you know, that cult can be in cognitive dissonance and try and drag my name through the mud and lie, just like how my ex-husband does. But you know what? Medical reports, it doesn't lie. Cult psychology layer. Cults use identity suppression, break down the individual identity, replace it with a role. Wife, helper, servant. So if you came in with your individuality, wanted to be a bossy, wanted to have your own business, whatever that might be, they break you down and replace this with like the gender hierarchy and inequality. This reduces autonomy and increases obedience. And some scriptures used to control. 1 Timothy 2:11-14. I do not permit a woman to teach, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. Genesis 2:18. I will make him a helper suitable for him. The word translated as helper in Genesis is Ezer, E-Z-E-R. In Hebrew, it is the same word used for God helping Israel. So that word helper that they used to say that we're a slave and below Adam or whatever, it's the same word used for God helping Israel, right? So it does not mean subordinate assistance. Scriptures that challenge this. Judges 4:4-5. Did you not see my tremors just then? Deborah was a prophet. That's my mum's name. Deborah was a prophet and judge over Israel. Romans 16:1. Phoebe is called a deacon. Romans 16:7. Junior is called outstanding among the apostles. And also in the book of Judges, there is the account of Jael, where historians suggest that she had got her back blown out so successfully that the commander fell asleep, and then she put a peg through his head, and that allowed Deborah to lead the army to come in and take over the camp. Okay, so women clearly held leadership roles, guys. They clearly held leadership roles. I want to try and get through this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to, because now I'm getting like stomach pain. I'm going to do this live until I can't do it anymore. Why cults push marriage and reproduction? High control groups rely on recruitment, retention, reproduction. Marriage inside the group serves all three. So there's a closed loop population growth. The group grows by marrying members internally. That's why they want everybody to marry off like to each other, because it just keeps, they grow the church cult through second generation, third generation, fourth generation children. Producing children raised within the ideology, so the self-sealing system. This creates loyalty, dependency, and fewer exits. It makes it harder for people to leave, because it's like, oh, my dad's a pastor, my dad's a senior this, I can't speak out against the cult. And that's how they get to thrive. So it's a lot of the pastor's kids and second generation kids that, because they remain silent, women continue to get raped, sometimes by their own father. They continue to get SA'd. People begin to get financially exploited because they've been indoctrinated to like keep the family secrets. So they don't only have the layer of being part of the wider organization cult, but their family is a cult too, especially if they've got like one parent or both parents as pastors. It will, like, that cult dynamic, you cannot hide from it. And then their accommodation, they live with their parents, they can't speak out. So do you see how they design all of this? Like, there's a lot of psychology that goes into this. It's like it's mastermind scripted blueprint. It's the same blueprint for slavery. Guys, I'm going to end on this one because I'm tired. I'm going to go and take a nap, have a little sleep, and come back because I'm so tired. So let's look at the scriptures used to control. Genesis 1:28, be fruitful and multiply. 1 Timothy 5:14, younger widows should marry, have children, manage their homes. These are often used as universal commands. So the historical context in Genesis 1:28 was spoken to the first humans in a world with no population. It was not necessarily a command for all women in all times. Paul's advice in Timothy was practical guidance for a specific church context. But don't get it twisted. There's ministries like DAG where they'll accept that the woman can preach, be a bishop, be this, be that. But that's not because he loves women or he whatever. That's because the ministry would fall apart if he didn't make women something, because there's more women in the cult than there are men. So you got, like, these cult leaders are very sly. They would have all men if they could, like Potter's house, but some of the men are so inept, inadequate, uneducated, just dusties, like just washed up. So the women are the machines of Dag's cult. That's why God chose a woman, because he just HATEs women like me. So it's like a big, like, you know, like you from the universe to Dag. I just love God's style. We're more alike than you think, guys, because there is an anger and wrath of God. There is that side of God, I tell you, where God takes no prisoners. I'm trying not to talk about God in a masculine or feminine sense, because I don't think God is neither masculine nor feminine. However, I think that the masculine and the feminine element of God is both there when we need to call on and get the father in nurturing. I don't want to say father, the masculine nurturing, the masculine healing, the masculine knowledge, the masculine inner standing to understand, to overstand. And then we've got the feminine energy. And then that's like, you know, the moon and just the water, the fluidity, Mother Gaia, nature, Mother Earth, etc. And that's why a lot of people just aren't alive inside, because there's no connection to nature. Before I did this live, I've moved downstairs, guys, and in the next live, well, I'll ask my mum to come and help me because I'm getting out of breath. I'm starting to get in a lot of pain. My mum will turn the cameras around. Do not feel sorry for me. Guys, I'm not a bitch. Don't you dare be sitting there like, ooh. I was in the cult for 18 years. I was in a DV narcissistic marriage, guys. I shouldn't be here. Then I was exposed to CCE. My boyfriend was unalived in police custody. Guys, I shouldn't be here. It's a blessing that I am here, and I'm going to try and look after my health as much as I can. That's why I've got all of the professionals involved. I'm here in my bed. I'm not moving. I'm resting. I'm doing all the things that I should to give myself the best chance so that I can fight for us. I can fight for the collective, and I can be here for my kids because I'm all they've got. So, well, the only normal one, you know, the one who's actually like broken the cycle, healing, decided to, I want to be here for as long as I can for the sake of my kids and for the collective. I think we owe that to ourselves to like heal together and, you know, have this new life that we're creating. And as I get better, the more better I get, the more I can do and apply for funding and set up the CIC, and I've got helpers now and all at the right time. I'm going to finish the part that I said I wanted to finish though. Scriptures that challenge this. 1 Corinthians 7:7-8. Paul says singleness is good. Matthew 19:12. Jesus speaks of those who choose not to marry for the kingdom. But they don't emphasize on this. They don't emphasize on it. Even the fact that like Paul was not married. Like there's no emphasis. They want everybody to get married. It's like it's a part of the law and the rule in these church cults. And that's because that's how they grow. That's how they expand. That's how they keep the second, third generation. Where is the teaching? Where is the teaching for the people that want to dedicate themselves just wholly to the church? Where are they? Where are they? We can't find them in Pentecostalism. We can find them in Catholicism. We can find them in Church of England. We can find them in, like, what else? What's the other one? Protestant, you know, those other ones. But we Methodist, we cannot find it in Pentecostalism. You just got a bag of pick-me's like Nia Cerise, just eating from them banana bowls. Mine get idiot when they get married. Everything's about the man. And the wives are used to like cover a lot of ABUSE. A lot of the men are warlocks and opportunists. So it's just the same thing. The women are just bitter. Oh my God, I look like that guy, innit? From what's that? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know, I got this woman to cut my hair years ago. She cut it like this and it never went back. Like this whitey hairdressers. My hair's never gone back. But anyway, I'm just locksing it up. I'm starting my lock journey. I'm going to get sister locks. Because especially how I am, sometimes there's times I can't do anything with my hair. And if I've got it locked up, even if it's like really locking, my hair will still be growing. And then I can just go and get it. I could just go and get it sorted. You know, they've given me a live visibility. I could just get it sorted or thing. Anyway, I'm coming off now, guys, so I don't mind. All right, let me just give you the last scripture. Singleness is presented as a valid spiritual path. So let me just go through this quickly. Why there's no space for women who don't want marriage. Independent women are harder to control, number one. From a cult perspective, a single woman with autonomy equals unpredictable. They want you to be predictable. They want you to be submissive, obedient, alave, controlled. Autonomy equals unpredictable. A married woman with children equals anchored and dependent, reliant, codependent, controlled. And also they can't easily maneuver and get, do you know what I mean? Their focus is like on the baby. So that's why at the moment in my church called under Daggy Mills, whether they can afford the child, whether the child's going to put them in debt, a lot of these couples can't even afford to pay their bills at the moment, but they're so quick to impregnate the wife because there's so much exposure on my cult. So they want all the women like exposed. Like there's a girl who was in my branch, she's got 2 kids. That guy is broke. He can barely look after himself. But here she is. That's putting a further strain on our resources. So you want to come and act like you're better and you're holier than that. But babe, you're on benefits. You're married on benefits, living in a council flat. How does that make you different from another young mum? And some young mums are better off. Majority of young mums are better off than the gal them in the church cult because they're carrying the man them. The man them are not earning. At least their baby father's doing something for them. Do you understand? They're just in there, idiot, their head. Do you get it? Like they're just in there like some idiot Hey Nance, just believing, oh, it is better for my husband to be doing the work of the Lord than putting food on the table. All right, babe. So the cult psychology mechanism, control through attachment. Marriage creates financial ties, social ties, emotional ties, children. Also, you're not allowed to divorce. Remember, they say that like you can't get remarried, divorce is like haram. They do that to keep the women trapped and controlled. These marriages are just prisons. They're just prisons for the men and the women. They HATE each other. It's a death sentence. All of which reduce the chance of leaving. Scriptures used to control. Ephesians 5:22-24. Wives, submit yourself to your own husbands. Titus 2:4-5. Women should love husbands and children. Be busy at home. Doesn't this just sound like a manual for men to control women? Historical context. Ephesians 5 begins with submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. That's 5:21. Mutual submission was the original instruction. Submit to one another out of the reverence for Christ. And then it's like women, that you should submit to your husband, but he should love you as Christ so loved the world, so loved the church, that he gave his life. Yeah. And there's no majority of the men that are husbands do not have, again, that Christ consciousness. They have religion. They tick the boxes. There's men that are acting like the A-star husband, but they're sleeping with hookers, like pastors in my church got. Do you know what I mean? They're paying for a service. Like, they don't care about their wife. If their wife might catch something, or she might, they just don't care. So scriptures that challenge this. Luke 10:38-42. Oh, this bed is heaven. I'm just living in a utopia right now, guys, so don't feel sorry for me, bro. My living room was not getting used. It was just abandoned, like just this beautiful space, this beautiful room. I was cooped up in my room, just dark curtains, like no light coming in, just in there 24 hours. And because I'm housebound, I'm mainly bedbound, I don't get to go out. So now I've got this whole wall of light. I've got my double windows and they're double glazed. And then I've got my, my double doors going out into the garden. So now my living room goes out into the garden and I can just go on my walker into the garden, have my tea. It's beautiful. It's like a dream life. That's how I'm looking at this, because I can't let this destroy me. I can look at it as a glass half full or a glass half empty. And I'm choosing to look at this as a glass half full, because I've got to keep going. And there's people with impairments, one leg, all different types of people who are impaired, like in wheelchairs. Look at Malala, people who have, and they've still gone on to do very great things. Disability is not a barrier. Hello, Marve. There's a story about a widow that provided bread to Prophet Elijah. Yeah, with the oil. Yeah. So true. Even if you have no desire to marry or date, they'll force it on you. Yeah, absolutely. God's promises abundance in a land of female, or a land of feminine through faith. Ooh, I love that, Marve. Guys, I just envisage, like, in 10, 20 years to come, like when my kids get older, that there will just be like more housing, that women will get together and like put their money together and build land and, like complexes and stuff for each other and just live. We should all do that. Have our own, the women should just all get together, buy land and just live on the land and just produce our own. Like, I really do see it becoming like that in the future. Like, I just think us women are going to just take over the world, because the way that these patriarchs will say, all right, have your world, have your, your capitalism, have your greed, have your, okay, we'll go back to our motherland, our earth. I guarantee you, whatever we do, they'll be coming running to us trying to buy whatever it is that we do, that we source from the earth, because it's always been the women saving their ass from the beginning of time. Do you know what I mean? It's always been the women. That's why they've erased our history, you see. So in Luke 10:38-42, Mary sits at Jesus' feet as a disciple instead of doing domestic work. And we also know that she is the apostle to the apostles. 1 Corinthians 7:32-35. And in the book of, I think it's in the esoteric books, it says that, I don't know, it's either Thomas or Philip or one of them, it says that, does it say it in the Bible? I don't think so. It's in another book that Jesus kissed Mary on the lips often because he favored her. Do you understand? So there was a very deep connection between Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. And I do, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I think that Mary Magdalene was the feminine the feminine Christ, like, you know, the femininity, like the feminine Christ consciousness, and then Christ is the masculine. That's where I'm going. That's what I think they tried to kind of hide from us. But again, guys, this is just me thinking aloud, trying to move into this new me where I don't care how people see me or what I believe. So I'll be doing this in drips and drabs. And please, guys, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. This might be a bit much for people, but I've got to deconstruct as well at the same time. So just if I start talking about things that trigger you, just come off and come back on. That's the best thing to do, yeah? Because I know when I first came out, I couldn't have handled this type of conversation, you know, them ones. But I hope that the people that come out are more woke, because there's more access to my videos. Because once a divine feminine is awoken, it's like once you go black, you can't go back. Or once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then in 1 Corinthians 7:32-35, Paul says unmarried people can focus more on God. God, all right, let me just do this last one. The faith over evidence. Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to get done. The faith over evidence control mechanism. Cults often say, don't question, just have faith. Your doubt is sin. We walk by faith and not by sight. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Those are the two main scriptures to make you put your brain at the door and to bark like a dog. And when they say jump, you say how high. It's through the faith over evidence, and this is a control tactic. Psychological concept, which is cognitive dissonance. When reality contradicts belief, the brain feels discomfort. Cults resolve this by saying you lack faith, you're under attack spiritually, that's why everything's the devil. That's cognitive dissonance. So members distrust their own perceptions. Scriptures used to control: Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Look, I just quoted that. Proverbs 3:5. I'm always going to remember that now. Hebrews 1:1, because that's a palindrome number. Lean not on your own understanding, and then that we walk by faith, not by sight. This is used to discourage critical thinking, autonomy, agency. Scriptures that challenge this: 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Test everything, hold fast to what is good. I don't know what version that is. Is it test every spirit? And is that the one that says, is that the one that think, because there's another scripture that says, think on things that are pure, think on things that are lovely, think on things. So it's about really just having that pure mind where you're focused on self, not on everyone else's business. That's why don't look at it like, oh, they gossip a bit, you know, they love a little good old gossip in that church. No, that is a big time sin. And God can't dwell there where like there's gossip. God doesn't operate in them low vibrations. That's why when I'm talking to survivors and the collective and stuff, I try my best not to indulge in gossip, because that will just bring the whole vibration of the collective down, like speaking about someone else behind their back and doing all of that. So I like to be very transparent. The only time I hold back knowledge of what I know is to protect another, but that's not gossip or bitchiness. That's safeguarding and that's a protective factor. Acts 17:11, the Bereans examined the scriptures daily to verify teachings. So again, you know, there's just a study to show thyself approved. But remember, a lot of the time how they'll frame it is you've got to study the cult leader's doctrine. Because remember, Dag Heward-Mills only preached from his books, not the Bible. If a pastor gets up there and starts preaching from the Bible, he'll be rebuked and seen as disloyal and go through a psychological interrogation and be beaten down psychologically. Like that's how serious it is. Critical thinking is actually encouraged. There's also the example of Christ when he disappeared, and he was in the temple going about his father's business, isn't it? So he was studying the Torah and studying. It wasn't only the Torah. That's the thing. There was other like scrolls, and you know, that's going back like before Christ, BC. But because they've used this religion as control, it's a social construct, man. They've been really smart to keep us in control. Right, I'm going after this, guys. So when I come back, because I'm going to come back, we're going to look at the neuroscience of faith-based control. So this will be the part 2. The long-term brain effects, the faith without works exploitation loop, We'll be looking at the gendered exploitation structure, health consequences for women, why domestic violence is ignored, moral exceptionalism in church culture, spiritual bypassing, the psychological trap for women, why these systems keep repeating, and then we'll be looking at some core truths. And I might get into this, guys, but what I do want to talk about, and I'm just going to give you the title because it's so exciting. I want to give you a preview of a chapter in my book that is called The Forgotten Face of God. Mother God, Feminine Intuition, and the Control of Women's Spiritual Power. And I'm going to give you a little taster. I'm going to give you a, what are they called? Canapé. I'm going to give you a little canapé. So many women who come out of high controlled churches describe a quiet, almost secret thought they once had, but never dread to say out loud. What if a God isn't only a man? For some, even thinking that question felt like a sin. For others, it felt like betrayal. And for many, it felt like a deep inner conflict. Oh, thank you, Prince. A deep inner conflict between what they sensed intuitively and what they were taught to believe. Because in most patriarchal church cult systems, God is Father, King, Lord, Husband, and Master. All masculine titles, all hierarchical, all authority-based. Hell, the Holy Spirit is genderless. We're just going to make Holy Spirit genderless. Neither man nor woman. It's just the Holy Spirit. But I've noticed that they've started to say he. The Holy Spirit, he is a comforter. He is a, so again, we've been conditioned and programmed to be slaves, to be lesser than. And, the whole Bible is just all about men. So it can't be from God because God is a God of justice, equality. It's not of God. It's not. And, but rarely do we see mother, womb, source, creator in a feminine sense, nurturer, goddess. All of that is seen as evil. The reason why this came to me is because since I've had to deal with my narcissistic ex-husband, and it's just like me and my girls, and then I've realized it was like my mum's our matriarch, and then I've had my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and there's this lineage of divine femininity going through my blood. And so what I really thought was, I've had this element of like Father God, Father in heaven, but at this moment I need mother gods, I need mother goddess. And it just came out of my mouth, mother goddess, mother Gaia. And it's that element, I believe, of mother nature. When you start to connect with nature, you start to go within, you start to connect more to the moon and the cycles and the stars, and that's where I feel like you start to gain a relationship with the feminine side of God. And I'm going to leave it here. I think for my spiritual kings and queens, the ones who have been really searching the different metaphysical planes and realms and dimensions of this planet and to infinity and beyond, those that have an ear, hear what Spirit is saying, I'll be back. We're going to dive into this a lot deeper. We are going to be set free, especially the women. There's been so much abuse. And what I'm going to say is about 95% of the women that are in marriages in these church cult spaces are in domestic violent marriages, whether that's emotional abuse, psychological abuse, because they stonewall them. They feel like they have to walk on eggshells. They put the ministry before their wives. They don't get emotional support or love. The whole, all of the responsibility and the pressure and the accountability and the responsibility is all on a woman. It's all on the wife. That's why a lot of women unalive young. They have a lot of illnesses. That's why I'm so sick. Because I was carrying my ex-husband on my back and he was abusing me at the same damn time. And on that note, I'm going to go. I love you all. I'll be back. Guys, I don't know what time. Give me a couple of hours because my mom's going to make a roast today. Chair. Guys, get ready for my photos of my food. I've just been just shoving it all down my gob. I haven't been able to put that food corn online for you guys, but I will. I love you. I'll be back later. Let me log off. Guys, you'll notice that I'm speaking a little bit more. just because I have to be in this vibe so that I don't start talking about my ex-husband and the mess of his cheap 304, because I have to put my kids first. So if I'm speaking like this, it's almost like I have to do this to like be in a character, to just come on live, stay focused, stick to the points, because that's what I've got to do, because what I'm cooking up behind the scenes, I've just got to stick to the points. So I love you all. I love you all, and I can't let my emotional dysregulation get the better of me. So I just don't want to do that. I just want to stay in my feminine self-love pink energy. All right, guys, I'm just so excited for this year, guys. There's going to be so much like exciting stuff coming. I swear to God, guys, I'm so excited for this journey. I'm so excited to take this collective on this journey with me, guys. You're going to absolutely love it. You're going to love it. And I just feel like I'm so happy that I'm getting to take you guys on this journey with me, because I'm happy. Guys, I'm happy. Please be happy for me too. Like in my hospital bed, in my walker, with my carers, please be happy for me. Because guys, I've been needing this for a long time. I have. And I've been through so much. My body just needs to rest. I'm ill. That's facts. But I'm litty doing it, and I'm schmexy. I'm like a schmexy, like ill person. Remembering is a nice service. It's not always a class. God's promises abundance in a land of feminine free faith. I think I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's the matriarchal season we're in. Try to see the good in everybody is a good mood. Yeah. Except for like, we've got to be a bit careful with that though, because some of these pastors, we can't see the good in them, unfortunately. But I know you're not talking about them, Marve. I think you're talking about more within our world when we're in a safe space in it, because we can't trust them pastors as far as we can throw them down. Let me go TikTok, because you know it's already. I'll be back later. Love you. Yeah, you know we can't trust them pastors as far as we can throw them. They're just the MESS. Do you know what I mean? They're full of human fecal matter. Do you know what I mean? They look like human fecal matter. Their breath smells like human fecal matter. You can smell them before they come. Do you know what I mean? It just reeks of BS. So to be honest, you know, I have no desire to see any good in these individuals. I just wish for them just turbulence, persecution, punishment, and the Mosaic laws of no mercy and complete judgment of God. That's all I hope for. Anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to go. You know, I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. I've got to throw something bags away. And also, guys, try and go. Oh, I'm going to upload. I put a really funny piece of content on TikTok. It's gone a bit viral on DAG. So I'll put that up. I'll put that up on YouTube in a bit. I love you. Miss El Rose, I love you. Spencer, Marve, Denny, I love you guys. My TikTok community, man. I'll be back later, I promise. And TikTok, look at what's going on. Look at the setup. I've got, like, I'm sorting out my studio. I've got a sofa there. I'm going to get a little table and chairs bit there. So I want to keep this Chase lounge in here. I'm seeing it and I'm like, oof. But anyway, sorry, guys, I'm speaking out loud. But I'm trying to do up studio so that I have different spaces to record, and so I'm going to start giving you lot some exclusive content. I love you. I hope that today's live has made up for my absence, and I'll be back a bit later unless I'm really ill, but I have a feeling I'll be back, because now, guys, you know, like before it was really long, but with my walker I'm just putting my laptop on top of my walker, so it's not as the setup. I still have to take it out, which is the long bit, and put it up. But we'll figure it out. I love you. If no one's told you that they love you, I love you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. And I'll see you soon. I love you so much, guys. Please know you're loved. Know that you are loved, even if you don't love yourself. I love you guys. I'll be back later.